Hello everyone. In today's video we will explore the Databricks UI and we'll try to understand when to use which section of the UI for executing our task. So let's start. So last time after creating the Azure Databricks service we launch and this is the UI of Databricks. So let us explore it one by one. So you can see here in the new section, which is, first of all let us understand these three. So there are three sections you can see, right? One is data science and engineering, one is machine learning, and one is SQL. First let us understand what are the options available in data science and engineering part. So first of all we have a new option. So once I click into the new option, you can see there are different options coming up. Notebook, you can create a new notebook, you can upload a file, you can create some data, you can create a cluster, a job, a pipeline, and repo, and an AutoML experiment from the new itself. Okay, so the next one is coming up as a workspace. So once you click the workspace, whatever workspace you have, under shared option and under users option, including your username as well, so these you will be getting here, and under it you will have the option to create notebooks, library, folder, file, and ML flow experiment. Under this workspace you can clone, you can import, you can export to a DBC archive, source file, or HTML from here, or you can copy the link address. Okay, so workspace, as you know, is an environment for accessing all of your Databricks assets. As you can see, it organizes your objects that are notebooks, libraries, dashboards, and experiments into folders and provides access to data objects and computational resources. As you can see from here, you have options to create all of them. Okay, so next let us move into repo. So here in this repo you can see basically repos is a visual Git client in Databricks. So it supports common Git operations such as cloning a repository, committing and pushing, pulling, branch management, and visual comparison of difference when committing. Okay, so here you can see you can add different folders using that. Once you create folders, under that you can create some repo related details. So you have this option from here. You can create by clicking the add repo. So here you can see you need to provide a Git repository, you need to provide a Git provider. There are different options: GitHub, GitHub Enterprise, Bitbucket Cloud, Bitbucket Server, GitLab Enterprise Edition, Azure DevOps Service, AWS Code Commit. So there are different options available. Here you can also provide the Git related credentials and details. So there are different options. So you need to provide all the values here, and based on that the repo will get created on clicking the create repo button. Okay, so next let us move into recent options. So recent, you will be getting all the recent whatever activities you have done with respect to that. Next, move into data. So here data will be basically will show you this screen actually. So there you can see high metastore, sample, these are present. So high metastore is basically a database that holds metadata about our data, such as the path to the data in the data lake and the format of the data, that may be Parquet, Delta, CSV, etc. And every workspace in Azure Databricks comes with a managed built-in metastore. So this you can get here. And if you click this add one, you can see you can add data into it from different options. If you click add, you will get these all options. You can see, right? You can get from the native integrations that are blob storage, data lake, Snowflake, Kafka, etc., and also from the other partner data sources. Okay, there you have options for taking from Google Drive, or you can take from HubSpot, and there are different options which you can explore. Okay, so let's get back. So if you click here, the next one, ingest via partner, there are different partners available such as Fivetran, Arceon, Hevo, Rivery. So from these partners also you can do different activities. Okay, so next it's coming into, you can also add data from an external location. Here you can see you need to provide that location, that URL, if there is any credentials. So by this you can also create from a external location. An external location is a cloud storage URL and a paired credentials that allows access to data stored on your cloud tenant. Okay, so now from here also, from mount point to also you can copy. So these are the different options coming up under mount point. The next one is add a storage credential. So using storage credential also you can have the data. So a storage credential represents an authentication and authorization mechanism for accessing data stored on your cloud tenant. So you need to provide the storage credential name, the access connector ID, the managed identity, which is optional, and then you can create one. So these all comes under data option. Okay, so next is coming as compute. So under compute, as you know, there are different options. There you can see basically all purpose compute. All purpose compute is basically required to analyze data collaboratively using interactive notebooks. There is job compute. You can use the job clusters to run fast and robust automated jobs. So if you want to automate some jobs, you can use these job computes. Next there is pools. Basically pools are a set of idle ready to use instances. So when cluster nodes are created using the idle instances, cluster start and the auto scaling times are basically reduced. So if the pool has no idle instances, the pool expands by allocating new instance from the instance provider in order to accommodate the cluster's request. So when a cluster releases an instance, it returns to the pool and is free for another cluster to use. So only clusters attached to a pool can use that pool's idle instances. So you can specify a different pool for the driver node and worker nodes, or use the same pool for both. So you need to create pool from here. So if you click create pool, you need to provide different options, which we will look in our future videos when we'll be actually creating the pool on practically. So as of now, this is, you can see that UI. So now coming to policies. So policies, you can see basically Databricks cluster policies provide administrators control over the creation of cluster resources in a Databricks workspace. And effective use of cluster policies basically allows administrator to enforce certain standardized cluster configurations and prevent excessive use of resources and control the spendings. So using policies you can create different policies from here. Okay, so this is the UI for that. We will also create that in our future videos. So now this is there, and next is workflow. So you can see there are different options coming under workflow as well. So you can create different workflows for end-to-end execution. Here there are coming jobs, job runs, delta life tables. Under job there is option to create a job. So if you click here, you can see that you can create a task basically. Okay, so you can need to give a task name, the notebook which will be executing that, what type of, what is means basically it may be a notebook, it can be a Python script, SQL, anything. So you need to mention it here. What is the source? You need to mention what is the path of the notebook. You need to give path from here. Based on that you will get some notebooks here. So you need to give that from here. What is the cluster? What are the dependent libraries, parameters? What are the emails which are used to notify when a run of this task begins, complete or fails? Means number of retries, timeout in seconds, everything you can give from here. Okay, so now next is job runs. So once any job is run, means whatever is running, it will be coming under this window. So you can see what is the start time of the job, when it was launched, how much duration it has ran, what are the parameters, everything. And finally you will have delta live tables. So using delta live tables you can actually prepare a pipeline. Okay, so you can prepare some pipeline from here. So you can prepare pipeline from sample data or can directly prepare a pipeline. So these two are already created. If I click one, you can see this is sort of window will be coming up. And if there is, this is a source code basically. So if I click on this, you can see that this is basically the source code of this pipeline. So you can see there's streaming live tables. We will get into this in much more depth when we will be covering this topic in detail of delta live tables. So here there are different syntaxes also, you can see. So using this you can create an end-to-end pipeline. So all this will be coming up here. You can schedule, you can use different things. So these all things will be coming under workflows. And now if you are coming to this one, there is an option, you can see it's a marketplace. Okay, so what is marketplace? So Databricks marketplace is basically an open marketplace for all your data. You can see there are different options coming up. You can pick any of the options from here. Means it's a marketplace for all data analytics, AI, powered by open source data sharing standard. So the Databricks marketplace expands your opportunity to deliver innovation and advance all your analytics and AI initiative. So you can get everything from here. What are the providers, what are the categories. If you want to get some free, so you need to click, these all are free coming up. So this all you can select from this Databricks marketplace. Next is partner connect. So partner connect, you can understand from the name itself. So you can connect with any of these partners in Databricks. So there are different categories you can see of data ingestion, BI and visualization, data preparation, transformation, machine learning, data security, data governance, data quality. So all these are under categories, and here you will get all the partner names: DBT Cloud, Fivetran, Power BI Desktop, everything. There are lots of them. So whatever you need, you can select from here any of those partners using Partner Connect. Okay, so these all comes under this data science and engineering. And if you can see here, there is also a section coming up that is get started. It will come up once you actually land into this Databricks workspace. From here also you can set up your workspace. So create a cluster, you will be directly moving into that page we saw, right, when we are creating clusters. You can import data from here directly, Azure Blob Storage, Postgre, MySQL. There are other options as well. You can create a pipeline from here. So you will be directly creating a delta live table pipeline, which we already saw. Prepare the data, create a pipeline, start the pipeline, visualize the data. So there are different codes generated automatically here for that sample pipeline. And you can also invite your team for different collaboration and purposes. Okay, here also you have the same things: notebook, create a notebook, upload data, you can start an AutoML from here. There are different options for quick tutorials as well. So as a whole, this is the UI for data science and engineering inside Databricks UI. The next one is there is a machine learning coming up. This is specifically for machine learning. Okay, so once I click the machine learning, you can see there are a few extra items being added: experiments, feature store, models, servings. So if I click on experiment, you can see there is a page opening up where you can create experiments. So there are two options: AutoML experiment and blank experiment. Okay, so basically you can tell experiments are units of organization for your model training runs. So whenever you will be training your models, you will be needing these experiments. So when we'll be covering up this machine learning section of Databricks, so we will see that how we can create this experiment and how we can use it. The second is feature store. The feature store is basically a centralized repository that enables data scientists to find and share features, and also ensures that the same code used to compute the feature values is used for model training and inference. So from here you can, here you will be having all the feature stores, and here you can set the permissions from here that who will be able to see what. Okay, and the next one is models. So you can create model from here, you can give the model name and create from here. So basically model is a file that has been trained to recognize certain types of patterns. So you train a model over a set of data, providing it an algorithm that it can use to reason over and learn from those data. So whatever model you will be creating here will be shown here actually, whatever registered models are available. Okay, and here is that another option, serving endpoints. So basically model serving exposes your machine learning models as scalable REST API endpoints, and provides a highly available and low latency service for deploying models. So if you create here, you can see you can provide some endpoint name, you can select the model, whatever compute you will use. Based on that, you can add a serving endpoint using which it will be accessible through REST API endpoints. So these are the four options coming under machine learning. And there is another option for SQL. So if I click on it, you can see again there are some different options coming up, such as data, SQL warehouse, query history. There is an SQL editor also present here. See here you can see there is a editor. Here you can write different queries. So next is Workspace queries. Whatever queries are present you can get here, you can create query from here also. So in this way it will be again coming to this page, you can understand, right? Because this is an SQL query editor. So next there is dashboard, alerts. So whatever alerts we have, you can create alert from here as well. See, you can keep alert name, you can give the query for which the alert will be actually executed. There are options for data as well, which we already saw earlier. SQL warehouse. So what are the SQL warehouse will be listed here. The query history. So whatever query you have executed for how many days, you can mention from here, and based on that it will be this type of options you have. Everything will be generated here under query history. Okay, so this is an overview of this Databricks UI. So we will get into each of these in depth in our future videos. I think you have liked this video. So as of now I will be stopping this recording, as we have covered the UI on a high level. So thank you all for joining. Let's meet in our next video. Thank you.